All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining me for your Module 151 Week 1 class meeting. As always, thank you for your time. I appreciate it so much. Just a little bit we're going to talk about today. And the first thing, let's go ahead and talk about the grad dates that you guys received via text message. That is your projected completion date. That's the date you're going to be finished with this course. Now, I did not send them out to everybody. I only send them out if your grad date was before Christmas, before the end of the year, because you folks will graduate, will walk in December altogether, which is actually about half of my group right now. Half of my students right now are going to be finished before December. So I'm gonna miss y'all, but y'all will be in a better place once I'm done with you. So, yay! I know a lot of y'all were really happy to see those dates, and some of y'all were just like, "Oh, that's around the corner, like that's coming up quick," and it is. It's going to be here before you know it. Here and gone before you know it. So, exciting stuff. Which brings me to talking about finishing up the program. Let's talk about NCCT a little bit. For those of you interested in the medical office assistant exam, we're going to be taking, or y'all will be, what Unitech advises is you take it after you have completed modules 151 and 158. So y'all just finished 158. We're in module 151 now. It's only about 16 days long. So that's about 3 weeks. So if y'all want to, y'all can start taking that MOA exam in as little as 3 weeks. So what you'll need to do, the process for that, whenever you think you're ready, you're going to email Miss Franny Hoffman. She is our registrar. And since Unitech pays for you to take the exam, she sets it up for you. You email her when you're ready. She registers you for the exam, but you coordinate with her and get yourself scheduled for a date and where you want to take it. And they said there's like a 2-week window between when you contact Franny and when they can get you scheduled to take the exam. So keep that in mind. If you want to take it right after 151, then maybe, in 2 weeks, contact Franny before the model ends. So you can take it right after you end 151. So the information is still fresh in your head. If you guys, I will email y'all. Actually, I'm going to email everybody the NCCT MOA exam information. And I'm going to give it to everybody, including Franny's email address, because I really think as many people as possible need to take this certification exam. It's going to be the easier of the two. It's free, and it's another certification. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why it could be cool once we start talking about module 151 and chapters 1 and 2 in a few minutes. I'll go into more detail about why I think this is something that y'all need to do. But so I'll email everybody that information. Let's see. All right, so a little bit about module 151 that we're into right now. This one is Introduction to Medical Office Assistant, using the same book, the Ken's manual that we were in last time, and the study guide that goes along with it. And I know there was a lot of confusion because I called it a workbook. Workbook, study guide, same difference. They basically got the same title, y'all. Come on. But so we're going to be using those two. You're going to have a lot of assignments coming out of that study guide, a lot of vocabulary review. And the reason why is because all of that vocabulary is going to be on the certification exam. That's what this program is about. It's about setting y'all up for those exams and getting those certifications under your belt. So the vocabulary is very important. Review those key terms. Just review the key terms. Make sure you know that stuff. And this is all stuff that's going to be very relevant to y'all in your work life once you get into a medical office. Okay. We're going to be just going over some laws and ethics, introduction to anatomy, introduction to medical terminology. This is where it's great for those folks who have no experience working in a medical office whatsoever. This is where you're going to get that kind of that knowledge, that base knowledge that you need to work in the medical industry. Figuring out, y'all will see, some of y'all have seen my worksheets on medical terminology, prefixes and suffixes and stuff like that. We're going to review some more of that. I may do some more worksheets on that kind of stuff, because people seem to enjoy those. So we'll be looking at that. And just a lot of different things. I like to think of this one as the front office of the doctor's office, right? Billing and claims processing and arguing with insurance, that's kind of back office stuff, right? But this medical assistant, administrative medical assistant, in the chapters we're going through right now, is information that's relevant to anybody that works in a medical office.
Miss Brandy.
Yes, ma'am.
I have my MOA diploma and I have my medical assistant associate's degree.
Awesome.
But do I still have to take it? Like, just because I never they never paid for me to take the test to be certified.
If you've already got those certifications, then they're yours. You've already got them. That's wonderful. That's really awesome. The only one you would need to take is if you haven't taken the billing and coding with the NCCT. That one you would want to take. That's the big one at the end of the program. Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure, because I don't mind retaking it as a refresher, but I was listening to you say the medical terminology and everything, and I still have like all my work from this.
Awesome.
Like, I didn't throw anything away, so I still have it.
Great. That's fantastic. That be very helpful. Very helpful.
I was just making sure.
But no, if you've already got that certification, then hey, it's already under your belt. You've already That's great.
All right. That's good. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Okay, so why I think y'all need to take the medical office assistant one is, number one, why not? It's free. Unitech is paying for you to do it, or that's already been included in the tuition that you're paying, so you might as well. Okay, it's another thing to put on your resume. All right, let's say when you get out of number three, let's say when you get out of school, there aren't any coding specific jobs available in the area that you want to be in, but there's a clinic that you would love to get in the door who needs an office assistant, an administrative assistant, somebody make schedules, somebody to do insurance verifications or something. Why not be the most attractive candidate to get your foot in the door? You know what I'm saying? Let that be your starter job. Maybe that high dollar coding job isn't available right off the bat. Why not get in where you fit in? Or wherever you can get in, really. That's my thing. So that's why I think this is important and would be beneficial for you guys to do. All right, so let's jump into chapter 1, which was introduction to the medical office assistant. You guys read about the different responsibilities of a medical office assistant, all the different things you may be tasked with doing in that job. And any number of those things can also be asked of a medical coder or biller, as far as taking care of patients, especially when they call and talk about their bill. Miss Marsha really did an awesome job of presenting chapters 1 and 2. So I'm not going to beat y'all up with the same information, because she really did a fantastic job. She was very, very thorough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight some real world stuff to talk to y'all about. And one of those things from chapter 1 that I found to be really, really important is customer service. They mentioned customer service and how important it is. And guys, it really, really is. And sometimes they talk about professionalism and maintaining that
Mm.
in this chapter. Hey, Aisha, thank you for popping in.
I forgot. Oh my God.
Girl, what's going on with you?
Everything but what
You
I
forgot
need.
to take your vitamins? You did not eat your Wheaties today?
I've been running all day.
It's all good. It's all good. You made it. That's all that matters. Okay. So, I was saying, talk about professionalism in chapter 1 too. And sometimes, y'all, it is really hard to provide good customer service and maintain your professionalism, but it is something that must be done at all times. And this is whether you're dealing with patients or whether you're dealing with your coworkers, your teammates. All of these, you can put all of these things into practice, dealing with patients and dealing with your coworkers. You have got to do your level best not to let people get under your skin, not to get get butt hurt, so to speak, and maintain your professionalism, because that's what CY's your A is, that they can say Brandy had a situation, but she stayed calm. She didn't cuss nobody. And I maintained my professionalism. I mean, you're going to get patients on the phone who are going to be irate about a bill. If you're dealing with medical billing, you are eventually one day going to get somebody on the phone who is mad because they don't understand why you sending them a bill for all this money. They don't understand. And you got to be patient, and you have to talk to them like you would want somebody to talk to you about something you didn't know anything about. Not like they're stupid, not like they're a child, but with respect and courtesy. That's how you want people to talk to you. And understand also too, guys, that some of these people are sick. When they don't go to the doctor because they well, right? And I've done billing for chemotherapy. I've had cancer patients, people who are dying, calling me about their bill. And it's not that I ever got mad at them people. It took everything in me not to cry on the phone with them. I had to maintain my professionalism, keep it in check. And you will have coworkers, y'all. When I say this is relevant to your teammates too, your coworkers, and consider them teammates, because y'all are all an integral part of a cohesive unit that has to depend on each other to run a business office, to run a medical practice. And not one of y'all can do it without your other people. Not any one person can run an office by themselves. They just can't. I've tried to do it myself. I've had somebody force me to try to do it myself, and it's impossible. It is impossible. So you need your teammates, and you're going to deal with all kind of different personality types, whether they be patients or coworkers. All kinds of different personality types, people from different backgrounds, different ethnic groups, just different walks of life. And you have to have a certain amount of flexibility and approachability and understanding that not everybody is like you, and that's okay. And you have to be able to treat every single person the exact same. Every single person. Nobody likes to be judged. None of us like it. Nobody else likes it. And we darn sure, when we are not feeling good, we are feeling our worst and having to drag our butts to a doctor's office, feel like being judged by the staff and made to feel uncomfortable in some place that's supposed to provide you care. Have any of y'all ever experienced that in a doctor's office? Had a staff that just made you feel uncomfortable?
I came across a situation yesterday. I was explaining it to my husband. He goes to this neurosurgical clinic,
Mhm.
And yesterday is an hour and 35 minutes away from where we live. So I know when we was
Right.
leaving and he always be in pain and stuff. So he be having his moments where he be grouchy.
Right.
So we was on our way there, but I knew due to the traffic, a situation happened and we was gonna end up being 10 minutes late. So we called the doctor's office, and at first she answered the phone and she said the name of the office, and she said, "Could you please hold?" And she just hung up on me. So I waited a few minutes, I called back. She didn't answer. Then she finally answered again and she said the name of the clinic and she said, "Please hold." And she just put me on hold. So I waited a few minutes, and when she answered back, I told her that we was gonna be running late and the GPS says that we're gonna be there at least 10 minutes later. She said, "Okay, well, I understand you're gonna be late, but you have a 15-minute window." And I told her, I said, "I understand, but we close to that, we almost to the 15-minute window. So we're gonna still be 10 minutes over that 15-minute window. So do we have to reschedule?" Or she said, "Well, let me ask the doctor, is she gonna be able to still see him, or we have to reschedule?" I said, "Well, let me know, because we almost there, but we're gonna at least be 10 minutes over." So she tried to say, "Okay, I'm gonna find out from the doctor and I'll call you back and let you know." They didn't call us back. We just continue on driving there.
Mhm.
So then we end up getting lost because they wasn't in the office where they say they were. So, and I did call and explain to them we were still gonna be late and we trying to look for their office. So we got to the window and there was two windows, but there's
This
a
office
sign in
wasn't in
the,
Shreveport, was it?
no, it was in
Okay.
Lake Charles.
Okay. I was like, I bet I know who you was going to see.
So there was a sign that said, both windows are open. So there was a receptionist, but she was on the phone, and there was another receptionist just sitting there behind the computer. So you don't know which one to go to. They don't say this is check out, this is check in. They just say both windows are open. So
Yeah.
I went to the window to the left and I say, "There's an appointment for such and such." She just look at me and say, "Oh, she does the check-in." I'm like, okay. So went to the next window, waited till she got off the phone. We told her who we were, and we told her we was the one that was running late. We was gonna be, we still 10 minutes over the 15-minute window.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Okay, well, here's his paperwork. You're gonna fill out the paperwork and we're gonna check you in." Because all that time she's standing up there looking at us, write out and sign his name in. And she could have said, "Who are you? Y'all was running late. We might have to reschedule." She didn't say that. We sit down, start doing the paperwork. Then she called his name and she gonna say, "Well, y'all was supposed to be here 15 minutes ago." And I said, "Ma'am, we called, we explained to you, you kept putting me on hold. We waited a minute. It took a while." I said, "We still was on our way. We are an hour and 35 minutes away from where this is." I said, "That's the reason why I was courteous enough to call and let you know that
You
we
did
was gonna
everything
be
you were
late."
supposed to do.
Yes, and even though there was the 15-minute window that we was gonna be 5 or 10 minutes after
She
the
should have let
15-minute
you know
window,
right stanking then and there.
that the
Right
doctor
then and
wouldn't be
there.
able to see. Let me go
That's
to
it.
put
That's
me on
it.
hold and say, "Let me go ask the doctor. She'll
And then
be able
not
to
call
see
you back
you."
while you driving.
Yeah, and come back to the phone and say, "Well, she won't know." She said, "You still won't be, we have other patients. We just gonna reschedule."
Now,
She
how
didn't
looking
say
forward
that.
to now, let me ask you, you looking forward to going back to that office?
I had to keep my husband calm because he just went off on her. He was like, "Ma'am, my wife did call you and explain to you was gonna be late. You gonna still let us drive, continue on driving and getting here, and you still didn't say anything. And we sitting down filling out this paperwork. Then you gonna come say, well, the nurse practitioner." So he's not seeing the doctor. He was
Yeah.
scheduled to see the doctor, but they're gonna let him see the nurse practitioner because he wouldn't be able to see the doctor that day. But the nurse practitioner said since he was past that 15 minutes, she wouldn't be able to see him. He said, "Well, I don't need to fill out these forms," and just start balling up the forms. And, "Well, I'm not coming here," he said, "because there's many times I work so often and I'm not able to take off.
Yeah.
And this was the only time I was able to take off, and
To
I
drive
took
an hour and a
off
half.
to drive an hour and 35 minutes to come. And you're gonna say due to him being 5 or 10 minutes over that 15-minute window, that you won't be able to see him. And we drove that far. He said, well, she said, so you don't want me to reschedule your appointment? He said, no, I don't want you to reschedule anything because I'm not coming back. He said, because if y'all can't compensate or y'all didn't have consideration for my time that I had to take off from work to come here, because y'all know that I'm always working and I needed to come because I'm always in pain and I needed to see the doctor. He said, because y'all was supposed to just schedule me for injections, but you're telling me I have to see the doctor again in order to be rescheduled again for the injections.
People forget they are providing a service.
And he was so upset. He said, I'm not coming back here again because I'm not going to be driving an hour and 35 minutes and and miss a whole days of work, because I try to be considerate and let y'all know I was
Right.
going to be a few,
Y'all did
because we
everything
can't
y'all was
happen
supposed
with
to
the
do.
traffic, what happens with the
No,
traffic. It
no,
was
you
an
can't
hour.
help that. You can't help that.
And,
But
but the
they
way
should have
that
made
she
a little
just,
bit of
instead
room
of
on
she
their
said,
schedule.
yeah, instead of she said, okay, sir, I understand, calm down. You
Or
know,
they could not overbook themselves
yes.
to where they have a little bit of leeway in their schedules.
Well, I'm trying to explain to, she didn't say anything. She was like, so you don't want me to reschedule you? He said, no, I don't want you to reschedule me. Don't do anything. And I was like, oh, the attitude she have at the front of the office. Because when she find out she was the one that
Great
answered the
first
phone and said,
impression, huh?
yeah, can you please hold, and just hung up on me. Or she was like,
Great
please
first
hold and just put
impression.
me on hold.
That's how people get cussed out when customers curse them out. That's the situation. You make them drive all that way, and then only to tell them, "Oh, we can't see you." Well, you could have saved them time by giving them a phone call.
That is like,
But
That's
yeah,
what my husband said. He said,
But
I
if you
could have
know you
stayed
have
home.
out of town patients, you have to allow, okay, there's
yeah,
accidents.
you gotta have some
It's
consideration.
an accident.
especially in Lake Charles.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
You got to have some consideration for your patients and what they are doing, what they are putting on hold, how they are going out of their way to come get care because they're hurting, you know?
And she put
I
me
mean,
on hold a good 5 minutes. Well, she didn't even ask, okay, can I help you? And then say, when you're
right.
saying, well, I'm calling for this, she would say, could you hold on a minute? Soon as she would say the name of the company, she would just say, please hold, and
Yeah.
hurry up and put you on hold. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it, if she just put you on hold, she probably just put you on hold and didn't go discuss anything with anyone.
That's
That
what I
honestly-
wondered. And I'm standing up by the window and she's at the window on the phone talking, but then she's turned with her head looking this way, talking, and I'm assuming she's talking to somebody over here, but I'm like, that's why y'all can't answer your phone,
That's rude,
because
bro.
somebody can at least be answering the phone, and
That's
you sitting up
rude.
there talking and just holding the phone up. And I'm like, well, somebody else could be answering the phone when patients trying to call. I know there's just not this one line that you have to answer.
So could it have been the doctor never knew that, hey, they ran into an accident, this is what's
Probably
going
not.
on, to make
Probably not.
accommodations versus, oh, well, they
Exactly.
just showed up late.
Probably not.
And I could
This
see
is
if
our
you
bad.
didn't call
There's a
and
lot of
tell you and
office
just
people that
show
get
up.
real comfortable in their positions, and they like to call themselves making those judgment calls when it shouldn't be up to them. They don't set the policy. They just there to follow it.
Yes, I told my husband, I said I could have been ugly and have her.
Oh, you could.
I could have took her job from her,
Probably would've.
but I'm not gonna be that inconsiderate, because she might need her job, but I could have
Maybe
a
she
job
got
pulled
babies
from
to
her.
feed, but she ain't gotta
Yes.
have that kind of attitude.
Yes,
She could learn some customer service skills.
If she got
'cause I
babies,
know a few people that can have her job taken from her, but hey, I'm gonna leave it alone. But
if she
Good.
got babies to feed, then she needs to be more polite on her job. She needs to understand.
I think she
Exactly.
needs to get the
Now-
however she got that job. I think they need to refresh her courses.
Yeah,
But y'all, I'm sitting here, preaching to y'all about good customer service and treating people how you want to be treated. That's not going to be a problem for y'all. Y'all, but you got to recognize it in your fellow coworkers too, y'all.
Yes.
You gotta, if you see somebody being stupid with patients, say something. Be brave enough to say something. Because it is very true that One rotten apple will spoil the tree. One rotten apple will spoil the tree. That is the truth. I have seen it happen over and over again. And
That's why I
y'all will
say
have
he was
coworkers-
signing his name and she's sitting there watching him signing in. And then she gonna stand up there and take his name off the sticker instead of she look at it and say, okay, well, that was the one who called and said he was gonna be running a little late. Let me go ask or whatever. She just, okay.
She ain't
Mr.
even-
Miller, you just fill
that
out the
person
paperwork.
is not even engaged in her job.
Mm-mm.
Like
The
she-
first one at the
give her a
first
little
window,
paycheck.
it shocked me
And-
when she
and
said,
and
oh,
she care
she
about what
does the
she's doing.
check-in. It didn't matter if she does the check-in or not. You could have still said, yeah, can I help you with something? And then, well, this is not the window for checking in. The next window is the window for checking in. She just gonna
Well,
say,
number
oh, she
one,
does the
that don't need to
check-in.
be labeled.
Yes. It wasn't labeled. It just
Get
was a
some
sign that said
signage.
both windows was open. So you don't know which one is checking out or signing in.
That's it.
But the office where I worked at, we were taught if you have somebody waiting, it doesn't matter if that's your job or not. You check them in to help the other person if
That's
they're
right.
doing something. That way your
Yeah.
patient doesn't have to wait.
And you're not only providing good customer service to that patient, you're being a good team player.
Right.
Yep.
I was gonna ask, what the computer's not connected, she don't know how to check somebody in, like.
Right.
That's what I was saying. I'm looking at her and when she
Right.
gonna point and say, well, she does the check-in. I'm like, okay, but she's on the phone. Can you just check him in or just ask, well, what's his name? And go over there to her desk and look to see, okay, why she was on that phone, but they both sitting there looking at each other like, okay, well, she do her job. I'm just
Like
doing whatever I
at
want to do.
Pages, I take Page, we have Willis Knighton up here in Shreveport, big hospital system, and they have a really killer pediatrics department at Willis Knighton. So they have an urgent care for kids, and I've taken Paige there twice. And you walk up to the window and they tell you, you check in at the kiosk.
Mhm.
It's like, okay. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
the hospital's starting to do that.
It's like,
Our urgent care is like, they'll literally point you, and then you go to the window.
Yeah, once you sign in through the kiosk, then you sit down and then they're calling you, and then you go to
then
the
they,
window.
yeah, then you got to go to the window. So it's like, we're not, I think that the whole kiosk thing started with COVID and they were like, less
Mhm.
human interaction. Every kid in there putting their grubby little fingers on that kiosk. And then you want me to go touch it, and then I still got to go to the window anyway. After I
Yes.
done touched the grubby little kid kiosk.
When I'm touching the kiosk with my knuckles,
Right,
so I won't use my fingers. I'm doing
right.
like,
anyway,
and then you still
so-
call them. I guess that's to cut down half of the paperwork that they have
Yeah.
to look. And then they still asking you what's your name, date of birth, and then then they going through, click
Verify
this,
your
still sign this.
insurance,
I'm
verify
like,
all this stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
when
Well,
I
I
just did
know-
half of it on the kiosk.
Our specialists, like when we go to Baton Rouge for a specialist, for us, they give you it's an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
They give you an iPad and then it's in a case that they can wipe off.
Yeah.
But they
Mhm.
give you an iPad. You go to the front desk, they'll give you an iPad, tell you to fill everything out. And then everything that's done on the iPad sends it to them. That way they don't have to do nothing. And then they call you to the back.
That is how my back doctor, my spine surgeon, that's how their office operates. And the urgent care clinic that I just went to work for, we actually had a new EHR system that got implemented this morning. That will now offer our patients to do the same thing on the internet. Not necessarily on a pad in the office, but they can do it from their phone or from a tablet at home, or from a computer. So
Mhm.
I like
fun stuff.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. And that saves on somebody having to, sit there and take the information. That big, that big packet you get the first time you go to a doctor. That,
I wish they would do that for school.
no doubt.
I wish they would
Yeah.
implement DocuSign or Adobe, because we went back to school.
Unitech
Tuesday
does
first.
everything DocuSign. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, but we went back to school here in Terrible Parish Tuesday. and I got that big old pack of papers. I'm like, can we just, cut down on all the papers and trees and just, can I DocuSign everything? Because it hasn't changed in the last, I don't know how many years.
Now, I will say, we're in Bossier Parish, and Paige, I had to finish her enrollment last week for her to start next week. Super excited. We did everything online. Everything was done online. So that was really nice. That was really nice. That was cool. Okay, so that was a great example of horrible customer service, Julia, and y'all had every right to be frustrated. And I probably would have went off on you people too. Let's see if I can mute something. Why is my thing not muted? Okay. All right. So give good customer service with your patients, y'all. You wouldn't have a practice if it weren't for the patients. They pay your paycheck. Okay. And maintain that professionalism. Like, you can put your foot down about somebody. You're going to deal with people who are mad and upset. They do not have a right to curse you. You don't have a right to curse them. They don't have a right to curse you. And I have more than one time told somebody, sir, if you're going to curse at me, I'm going to end this phone call. And if they curse again, sir, if you curse at me again, I am going to end this phone call. And they curse at me again, sir, I am ending this phone call. You have a nice day. Click. It's that simple. It's that simple. You do not have to take anybody's abuse, but don't dish any either. Okay. But don't let people abuse you. You can end a conversation in a professional manner that covers your butt. And y'all, it's too easy for when somebody wants to call and verbally abuse you on the phone. It is too easy for a billing company to say, okay, they want to be verbally abusive and not talk about this bill. Collections, they go. And we ain't got to deal with them no more. We ain't got to take anybody's crap. We do not. Nope. All right. So another thing about being professional, and especially your appearance, and y'all talked a little bit about this with career services and about going into an interview in a professional manner, dress professionally, right? You want to do the same thing with your job. And they'll tell you, if your uniform is scrubs, then glory, hallelujah. But if it's not, and you need to dress professionally because you're in a billing atmosphere where you got to deal with patients and things like that, then do the thing. And here's something about dressing professionally. How many of y'all literally feel better when you dress up? Like, literally, it when your hair is done and your outfit's fresh and everything's good, your nails is did, you feel good about yourself, right? You feel good. You feel confident. That confidence, other people are going to read that. If you go into something feeling confident, they're going to read your confidence and they're going to go, oh, this person knows what they're doing. They know what they're about. So it's a two-way street. It not only helps you, but it helps other people feel comfortable and confident with you. I told the nurse one day, I said, ma'am, you are not inspiring confidence in me right now. This woman had to poke me 3 times to get an IV started, and then she couldn't. She could not get the IV started. And this was a big, one of them big white needles. I was going to have a baby, and they're trying to insert an IV, big white needle, and she had to stab me like 3 different times, both my arms, and then call somebody else. Because I was like, you're not inspiring confidence. Please call somebody else.
After stick number 1 didn't go right, I might give you another try, but after that, find me somebody else, baby. That hurt. You're not about to keep on sticking me.
I was so nervous. I was like, do what you got to do. I was like, I don't know what the protocol is here. Let's just do what we got to do. Let's bring a light into the world today.
You got, like we learned, don't we have a say? Okay, well, I say You're not about to keep sticking me. Find me somebody who know how to do it.
Mhm.
Ooh,
And I-
child.
Find me the
Right now.
professional on the floor.
I'm not afraid now. That was the first time, y'all, I had first pregnancy, first labor, first time in a hospital. I had never been admitted to a hospital before. Never spent a night in a hospital. Never spent any time in the emergency room. Just kind of lucky that way, I guess. But so I didn't know. I didn't know, and I just rolled with it. I just rolled with it. But anyhow, all right.
You
So
was
you will
using the
have.
wrong needle.
It might have been. I don't know. She called a more experienced nurse in, and that lady got it first try.
But I bet she changed that needle though.
Yeah.
The size of the needle she changed.
Maybe. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But okay, so you're gonna have patients who are going to test your professionalism, and you're gonna have coworkers that test your professionalism. And sometimes the coworkers will do it more than the patients will because you're stuck sitting next to them day in and day out. And they're gonna have habits that get on your nerves. And you're gonna have to hear them chit-chatting over the cubicle wall to everybody who walks up. And you may even do like me one day and stand up at your cubicle wall, look over it and look at the woman and go, "You are the most petty individual I've ever met in my life." And I'm gonna see if my boss will move me because I can't stand sitting next to you for one more freaking second. Can't do it. I did that. It was not professional.
What did she
Petty.
Oh
You
my
think I'm
goodness.
petty? I said, "No, I don't think you're petty." I said, "Me and everybody else in this room know you were the pettiest lady on the playground."
Ooh, that is hilarious.
Come on, Missy.
Okay. Mm.
Pettiest lady
That
on
is
the
hilarious.
playground.
Girl, she said what she said.
There wasn't nothing much she could say. She just kind of looked at her neighbor. That was because I was sitting in front of her, and she had her best friend sat in the cubicle across. They had sat in the cubicle across from each other for 10 years. So they was best friends. And she looked at I'm not gonna say no names. She looked at she was like, "She called me petty." And her best friend was like, "It's not very nice, Brandy." She didn't say it wasn't true. She just told me I wasn't being nice. And
It's
I was
just
like,
Brandon said something she always wanted to say. That's what that was. So she tried to tell
yeah,
you it wasn't nice saying that,
it
Brandon.
wasn't nice. It wasn't a
Mhm.
nice thing to say.
Oh,
That's what I looked at her. I was like, you know what? You're right. It wasn't very nice, but it was damn sure true.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Dang sure true.
You- Like my nephew say, but am I lying?
But am I lying? Yeah, exactly. And no, that was not professional of me. I should not have done that. I should have handled that differently. I should have just got up and went to my boss and been like, "I can't do this no more." Instead of telling her, "I can't stand you. I can't do this no more." And then going to my boss and said, "I can't do this no more." And I told her about it. I got you, Patricia. So you will have people that test your patience. And now luckily, if I'd have had another boss, I might have lost my job over that. Luckily, that was not the case. And I was a good hard worker and I did my thing. You know, there was this one girl that I sat next to. I sat in the cubicle opposite for her for 2 years. And after 2 years, I couldn't take it no more. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. She's just one of the most hateful, petty, vindictive people I've ever met. And I just have no use or tolerance for somebody like that. And y'all are going to work with people that you cannot tolerate. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And you got to do your level best to maintain your professionalism and rise above. Rise above.
You know,
But
Yeah,
it's
I
important.
I'm gonna have to.
Does that mean I'm gonna ignore you and I'm gonna treat you like a kid? Don't bother me and I won't bother you.
That's it. That's it. And then but then you get in these situations like this particular lady that I couldn't tolerate anymore. I was a biller for a company that she was the coder for. And I did all
Oh,
commercial insurance for this company and she did the Medicare. So our work intertwined like this. I had to deal with her on a daily basis. Had to deal with her. No way around it. No way around it. But I didn't have to sit next to her to do it. So my boss moved me. My boss was nice enough to move me across the room. And when I had to deal with her, I emailed her. Instead of looking over my cubicle wall and having to talk to her and conversate face to face, we emailed each other. And
That's
that
how
was
you know
what we
you can't stand
communicated.
somebody when you email them and they write.
And they one row over, they 10 feet diagonal to you as the crow flies. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it happens. It happens all the time. But you got to figure that out. You got to figure out how to make it work, or you got to find another job. You know, when you come up into a situation like that, that's how it is. You got to suck it up, put your big girl panties on, and figure out how to make it work, or find yourself another job if you're that unhappy. That's what it boils down to. But you can't go in every day with a chip on your shoulder, a bad attitude, giving your coworkers grief, being crappy to your patients, and not performing well. When you're grumpy like that all the time, you're not going to be effective and efficient. You're not going to perform your job to the best of your abilities when you're not feeling it. So, you know, if you're positive and you put out that positive vibe, hopefully you work with people where you're going to have a positive atmosphere to work in, and everybody will be able to be happy and successful. And life will be butterflies and rainbows, right? Don't we all wish? But that's just part of it. That's part of it. All right. So I want to move on to chapter 2. And it ties in really what we're going to talk about in that one. Like I said, Miss Marcia did a really good job going over the course material from the textbooks. I want to talk a little bit more about the real life stuff. And one of the big things I pulled from chapter 2 was how important communication is. Y'all know I tell y'all in onboarding, communication is key. It is key, because if I don't know it's wrong, I can't fix it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that they spent an entire chapter on communication, because it's super important. Like I said, you're going to have patients that come in, they're sick, they're tired, they're mad. They done drove an hour and a half and they 15 minutes late, and you got a 15-minute policy. You know, so you got to learn how to read people, their body language, the look on their face. I'm one of them people, I can't hide how I feel. I can't. If I'm mad, you're going to see it all over my grill. It's going to be right there. Okay. I can't hide my feelings real well. Like, especially if you catch me off guard. Like a lot of the time in my personal life, how you come at me is a lot of how I'm going to come at you. You know what I mean? If you're coming at me with all kind of attitude, I'm probably not going to be the most bubbly, friendliest version of myself. I'm probably going to be a little bit standoffish, right? So you got to recognize when you're giving off those either positive or negative vibes, when you got something going on, and be able to read it in people and react accordingly. And that goes for patients, and again, teamwork, coworkers too. So, and you got to maintain your professionalism in every aspect of communication: verbal, nonverbal, hand gestures. You know, we don't flip people off at work. Even if it's in a joking manner, you flip off your best friend, you know, from around the cubicle wall down the hall. Don't do that. Don't do that. Even if it's cool with you and your friend, if your boss sees it, it's going to be taken the wrong way. Okay. Don't let the HR lady see that. She will not react well. Okay. So, and also in a billing or coding position, you are going to talk a lot to insurance companies and You're going to type up appeals. You're going to be typing up emails to doctors' offices, to insurance companies, to government entities, all kinds of different people. And those communications need to be professional. They need to be on a professional level. Dear sir or madam. End it with thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you looking into this for me. Let them know that you respect their time and they will respect yours. And that's something that you need. What a cute little pudding.
Look, I'm looking at the baby too. I'm
I
like, man,
know.
I feel like I've been watching this
Yeah.
baby grow. Look how big. OMG. I'm telling you, I've been looking.
Y'all, he is a
When I
mess.
got close to the camera and
Distracting me with cuteness.
He is a mess.
Oh, he's a sweet
Oh,
dumpling.
Uh,
look how
likes to be in the hands. Did you say hi?
Oh.
Say hi. Say hi.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. What you doing?
now you done got picked up and don't want to look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Wait, let me see. Look, girl.
Okay.
Hey,
Who's that?
You are so cute.
girl, look at them cheeks.
We try to stay on topic over here.
Girl, them
Hard.
cheeks, girl.
You make it hard to stay on topic. You're so cute.
Okay. Cute baby.
All right. All right. Daily dose of cute. We good. All right. So keep all of your communications professional, y'all. Inside and outside. Another thing, boundaries. I am one of the world's worst about wanting to share my personal experiences with people because I feel like it helps me relate to somebody. We went through something similar. Look, we're not so different. We can get along, right? You got to know your boundaries with patience. You want to create a professional relationship with them, not necessarily a friendship where you feel like you're okay telling each other your life story or telling her that so-and-so office manager was sneaking around with so-and-so RN and now the office is all aflutter. We do not gossip about our office to patients, especially not to patients. Okay. Office gossip will kill the good vibes. It will kill the good vibes. It is entertaining in the moment, but it is not productive or effective for the long haul. It really isn't. And you darn sure don't want to be saying that kind of stuff. Gossiping and stuff like that where patients can hear you. That sets a very negative tone for the entire office. And then your patients will lose respect for your office and your doctor and your entire staff. If you put so much unprofessionalness in their face, they will. So, just watch while you want to be friendly and create a rapport and maybe ask them about their kids or whatever. Because especially if you work for a doctor who does primary care, you may see the same people over and over. My doctor's nurse practitioner, I see her every 3 months, like clockwork. She's getting to the point where she knows my name. She knows I have one kid. She'll ask me about her and, stuff like that. But she keeps it professional. She never, it's okay to empathize with your patients. I've been through something similar, but you don't have to give them every detail of your medical history like you would your best friend or like I do with y'all. So just know your boundaries and keep aware of them. Sweet. Okay, that was all I've got. Do y'all have any questions about chapter 1 or 2? Anything about medical office assistant, any of the exams, anything going on in the module, any of the work, anything, what y'all got?
What the exam is gonna be about is gonna just be on chapter 1 and 2.
Yes, ma'am. This module is going to run a lot like our previous modules did when we were doing coding and stuff and working a lot out of the book. You'll have a certain little section to read, and then probably in this module is going to be a lot of vocabulary review out of the workbook. And then your exam will be some multiple choice, possibly some short answer, but mostly multiple choice on these. And a lot of it'll be that key term stuff.
Okay, so no true and false.
Nah, I won't torture y'all like that this module. Well, ixnay the true and false. I like multiple choice better. And that's closer to what you're going to see on your certification exams anyway. So I want to prep y'all for that.
And I saw Miss, what's her name, Miss Marsha, that's how you say her name? She had also said when she was doing the chapter 1 and 2, then she was like, we're gonna go over that because starting in chapter 3 for y'all to do the fun stuff. So chapter 3 is gonna start, is it gonna be doing some sim charts, or it is gonna continue on being
It's going to
vocabulary stuff?
It's going to continue on being vocabulary stuff. She was talking fun stuff content wise. And
Okay.
quite frankly, I don't find it that fun. We're going to be getting into laws and ethics,
Okay.
legal practices, kind of the nitty gritty of what you can and what you can't do as far as HIPAA, privacy policies, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
All need to know stuff, but not the most exciting to me. But it's need to know, and I am going to try to present it in the most exciting way possible so that it is not as dull as it sounds.
So it's more like the laws of medical care. Okay.
Yep.
All
The
right, I'll
laws
be
that
looking
pertain
for
to
that.
you, it's going to be like the laws that pertain to you as a person who works in the medical industry,
Okay.
pretty much.
Mhm.
Yes. So fun stuff, all again, need to know stuff. And this is, this is something I want y'all to keep in mind. This is module 151. This is the beginning of the program. Y'all, Julia, you're close. Aisha, you're close. Jennifer, you close. Y'all are about to wrap around to where y'all began. Y'all are in another month or so, y'all will be back where y'all started and finishing up this program. That makes me sad. That makes me really sad. I'm gonna miss y'all so much, but it's nothing but good things for y'all.
If I
Nothing.
got
I
taken
know.
to stay in school, I wouldn't leave. I'd stay.
I know, right?
I loved it because I have fun. Yes, because I have this one lady that asked me in physical therapy. She's the front office desk, and she said she wanted to take medical billing and coding. And I just wanted to tell her you could take the medical billing and coding. Just ask for Miss Brandy to be your professor.
Oh, thank you.
That's what I was gonna tell her, because she was like, well, I'm gonna look into it. So when I go tomorrow,
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell her, I'm gonna say, go ahead and sign up. Just let me ask if Miss Brandy could be your professor.
there you go. Definitely send her to Unitech. Send
Mhm.
everybody you know.
I'm just worried
I try to
about
get
the
everybody
final.
certified.
I'm just worried about the final test that we have to take. That's the thing that's making me nervous.
You're gonna have some practice before you have to take it. Just don't
Okay.
stress.
I
Don't
thought it's
stress.
like once we finish all the modules, then we're gonna have to go ahead and take this test, or they're gonna give us a little break and then we
It's
have
up to
time.
you. That's totally up to you. If we suggest that you take it while the knowledge is still fresh in your head,
Mhm.
that's what we suggest. But it is totally up to you when you take it or whether or not you take it at all. You don't necessarily have to. Some people are fine with just saying, look, I got this training, I went through this course. They're not that worried about the certification part of it. I say, if you're going to do it all the way.
I thought you had to
course,
take it in
get
order
your
to do the
certification.
certification to graduate. That's what I was assuming.
No, you're going to finish the program either which way. You're going to graduate. If you do all the work, we're going to graduate you. But
Mhm.
that test is what certifies you.
Oh, okay.
Passing that
Okay.
test is what certifies you. So
Okay.
regardless of whether you take that exam or not, whether you pass it or not, you're
Mhm.
going to be able to say that you took this program and you gained this knowledge. And that's not something anybody can ever take away from you.
Okay, so it's not like college where you have to take your
Right.
finals in order
Right.
to
No, and
get
this
your
one,
associate's
the
degree.
big final is kind of optional. It's up to you.
Hmm.
Up to you. And we do have a lot. You'd be surprised how many graduates we have that don't take it. Which is,
Okay.
it's, I
This
feel
is
like,
my
I feel like you're kind of doing yourself a disservice if you don't take it though. You know, why go through all of this and then not take it? Not take that one little extra step and get that one thing on that resume that's going to set you above everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. I
You
just thought it was like college. You had to, in order to take your final
You gotta
exam
pass
to
my test.
graduate.
You got to pass my
Yeah.
test. That's it.
Mhm.
That's the only thing you got to pass.
That's awesome.
The
Okay.
rest is up to you. You got free will to do what you will.
I tell you what, I took this course back in 2002, 2003, and I finished it, but I didn't do the certification test. And back in the day when I did this, I was living in Houma. I mean, not in Houma, in Lockport. And I had a job call me out here in New Orleans, and it was like $13 an hour. I was like, hell yeah, I want it. She was like, okay, great. Are you certified? I was like, shit. I was like, no. She was like, I'm sorry, we can't hire you. And I was like, so I'm taking the test
That's it.
because
You know,
some of them are
Some
just like, you know
employers-
what, we don't want you to do.
some employers, and especially your bigger hospital systems, your more reputable employers, want that certification, and they will not hire without it.
Okay.
So if you're going to do the program, why not do the test?
Do the
the
damn thing.
Do the damn thing.
Is this a test that someone is like watching you take it?
Yes. It is a what they call proctored
Yeah,
exam.
proctor. Okay.
Yeah, you will have somebody from NCCT in the room with you watching you take your exam. Unless you choose to do it from home, then you will have an online proctor. They will be monitoring your computer and making sure that you're not jumping any outside websites. But it's an option. If you want to go that route, it is an option.
So they're gonna be watching your computer and they're gonna be watching you. They're gonna
Well,
be watching
either-
your face.
No, well, I think maybe. I don't know how that exactly is set up, Julia.
They probably
I think they
access
probably
the
do a
computer.
Zoom so they
Yeah.
can see you and not pulling papers from it. Probably so. I would think that, yeah, you have to be on video and then they monitor your web usage while you do.
Hmm.
Probably.
That I feel like that's what makes people nervous. That's probably why they don't take it.
Probably so. You're probably right. But again, if you don't, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice. It's not necessary. It's totally optional. It is totally your option. But why not? You did all the work. You learned all the stuff. Unitech's paying for it.
You got to
And that is just
Get
multiple
that
choice
step
on that test. It's
Huh?
multiple choice.
Multiple choice. It's all multiple choice.
Julia, you already know how to find them answers and do all of that. Come on now.
Oh, Julia's gonna take it.
Yeah, Julia. come on,
Julia's
girl.
gonna take it. I know she is.
But I don't like nobody watching me while I'm taking the test. I
I don't
might,
like
I
that.
might,
I don't either.
I might do it where I go into the school
There
and
you
sit
go.
there where, you know, they could
That's
stand
how
up
I
in the
would
front
do
and
it.
watch me and I'll do my test, but not sitting there. If I gotta zoom you off of my phone and then they have access to my computer and doing
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
Yeah.
It's just-
I'll be honest
And
with
it's
you.
nobody could pass behind you, or nobody could do this.
Right.
Nothing.
right.
Are they going to exit you out?
Yes.
I'm
yes.
going in because
You
I
have
don't
to
want no
be-
trouble.
You have to be in a room completely alone, and if anybody walks into it, you're disqualified.
Yeah.
And
I'm
yeah,
a
and that's what I'm
fan.
saying.
Oh,
You
no,
never
I'm a
know.
fan.
And then you could be sitting here and the weather might get bad, and then I'll be
Your
like, the
internet
computer go
drops. Guess what? You don't fail the test.
Yeah, because my
Yeah.
internet will act up, and then I live near train tracks, so if the train pass, and hey, that's
Yeah,
why
I live by
can't help.
You-
No.
Y'all, I really don't know how they're gonna set it up, but yeah, my guess would be that if your internet drops, somebody walks in the room, anything like that, they're gonna call it right then and there.
That's
why
why I'm going in.
I'm considering taking it myself. I don't currently hold any certifications. One, Nairn, not a one. Not a one.
But then
Everything I
if you
know is
take the test and something happens and they have disqualify you, or if you don't pass it, you have to pay for it to take it again? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not playing with them like that.
that's what if I end up taking them, I'll be going to my closest Unitech campus to take it.
What you
I'll be
said.
setting it up to take it in Alexandria.
That's why I wondered if they was gonna, if you have to, if you end up failing it. So
Yes.
what's the grade? Do you know what's the average you have to make in order to pass?
I do not. I do
Like
not
some of
know,
them do like
but I can find
70 or
out. Miss
something like
Marcia
that.
knows that information,
Okay.
and she's the one who sets up all of our NCTT prep stuff. She does all the Edmodo stuff. Have y'all been getting on there to look at any of that?
I looked at it today and I was like, girl, you're trying to do too much at once. I got to go back and strategize.
Yeah,
Because I want to use it as study material to be able to read over it. So I
right.
got to make sure you got the right answers. So it's like, wait a minute, I'm doing too much. So I'm going back to revamp how I'm because I was trying to take it all in at once. And
Yeah,
that's not gonna work.
take it in sections. I want to say they said they break up the material like in sections.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe
Yeah.
hit one section at a time.
That's why I said let me go back because I was doing too much. Let me go back and fix this one bit at a time instead of trying to go all the way through it. I'm like, girl, you tripping.
Did the bank of questions I sent you, I emailed to y'all, did that help any? Because I know some people said they took the bank of questions and then made like flashcards and made their own like study materials that way. So that's
What did you send it
Yeah.
on?
Mhm.
You emailed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I emailed it. I'm gonna email it to everybody again because I had only emailed it out to the people who said they were interested. But I'm gonna push
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and push everybody to do it. So I'm gonna email it to everybody. No worries. If you
No,
haven't
I
gotten it,
did.
you will.
I did try
Okay.
to get on the website, but the code, I don't know, the code is, I don't know what it's doing, and it could just be my computer, but I can't
Are you
access it.
already in Edmodo for anything else?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I'm not sure, Claire. We might have to do like a Zoom or something and let me look at it.
Okay.
We could probably do that and see what's going on.
Cause I don't know.
But
I said I was gonna try it again though, cause I tried and I was like,
all right, guys. Do y'all have anything else for me today? Anything else you want to talk about? Nope, we're
you
good.
got something to say?
Okay, yeah, and your test is gonna be on Monday. It's gonna be on Monday.
I have one question, Miss Brandy.
Which one?
Will, you said that they were before we take the test, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm scared to take the test. I hear everybody talking about it. I want to take it, but you said we would have a lot of time to like a study guide before we take it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one I'm talking about, y'all taking after 151 is the MOA, which I think you said you already have an MOA certification, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're not gonna worry about that. So once you get closer to the end of your program, you'll take the one for coding and billing. But you're still a ways away from that, where you're at. You still got a ways to go. But yeah, we'll start talking more about that the closer you get to the end. And like for those of you that I didn't send out grad dates, I'll be letting y'all know when your midpoint is. We usually let y'all know when y'all are about halfway through with the program and then when you're gonna grad out. And like I said, I sent out dates for everybody who's gonna grad out before the end of the year already. So the rest of you will be looking for your midpoints. That's right, Aisha.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Mhm.
We're gonna do our happy day.
I made it, Miss Brandy, finally.
Aisha, Okay, Jamie, I'm glad you did. I got you down. Well, I think I got you down.
I snuck in since my boss left early. I snuck in. I said, I'm going to sneak in and just listen.
There you go. There you go. Awesome sauce. Glad
Yes,
you did it.
ma'am.
Don't get
Yes,
yourself in
ma'am.
trouble though.
No, I'm hiding in a corner.
Very good. Very
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to our conversation. We sometimes we get off topic, but we talk about a whole bunch of different things, and it's all good, relevant information about what's going on in the industry today and stuff like that, or what's going on with in your program or with Unitech. All the fun stuff. All the fun stuff. But guys, if y'all don't have anything, do y'all want an update on how it's going with the side hustle? You do?
You know, I do, because I thought about texting you. I'm like, look, what's up with that?
Okay, so this has turned into like something really cool. Like really cool. I had a lot of trouble when I started getting into their claims. It took me several weeks to just get access to their EHR system and their claims and stuff like that, because he was using one EHR system in the office to enter in patient information and then having to take that information out of it, put it in another EHR system to do billing. So when I started looking for ID cards and co-payments and this and that stuff, 2 different systems completely. No rhyme or reason to the paperwork whatsoever. He was like, I'm going to send you a file. And it was like 2 gigabytes of scanned insurance cards and patient demographic sheets for the last 2 years in no particular order whatsoever. And I was just like, gee, damn. What have I gotten myself into? Jesus, damn.
Oh, he cutting up for sure.
So, as of this morning, we've gotten our new address for our new EHR system. That is one entire system. We went in this morning and set up super bills so that now they can chart, code, bill, document everything from one system. And we will have access to everything.
Whose idea was it to separate the systems?
I don't know, but it was a bad one.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I think what it was he signed up with this one EHR system like a year ago, and he thought that he could do the billing on his own. And so he thought all he needed was this little EHR system to manage the patient account data, and that he could do the billing on the back end on his own. Well, that didn't work out. So instead of adding the billing functionality to the EHR he already had, theirs was really expensive. So he went and got billing functionality from a different EHR system to save that money.
He cheap.
Bingo, baby. He's trying to save nickel and dime him. I was like, you're going to nickel and dime yourself into bankruptcy. Because by trying to save this $1, you've cost yourself $20 worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
By saving this $1 on this EHR system, you've cost $20 in labor. You just paid $30 for me to research for an hour, 3 claims, because I couldn't find their documentation.
Mm.
So
He could
that
pay
was
me
an
to finish.
eye-opener. That was an eye-opener. And I've had to break it down to him and let him know, you are doing too much. Period. You're trying to do too much and you can't. And now, right now, it's really interesting because we've got a COVID wave happening in Shreveport right now. So he has been flooded with COVID. Like, I haven't been to the office in 2 weeks because I ain't getting around all that COVID. No, thank you. Everything I need to do can be done by Zoom or email. So, but I've started getting all of their credentialing in order. I've contacted Medicaid and started that process. I've contacted Blue Cross, Aetna, United Healthcare, and Humana, and started those processes to getting them credentialed and in contract. We've also formulated a plan on how we're going to handle patient balances. Because, okay, let me break this down for y'all. Since January of 2021, that office has done over $300,000 worth of billed charges. Right now, they have $100,000 sitting in patient balances. That's a lot for patients to owe. They have $50,000, almost $60,000 sitting in a Medicaid file. Because when COVID hit, and you remember all those commercials that COVID testing for free, COVID treatment for free at no out-of-pocket cost. Okay, yeah, that's great. So we take all those claims and we file them to the federal government. What does the provider do when the federal government goes, oh, we're out of funding for that? Sorry.
Be stuck with the bill.
$50,000, almost $60,000.
They gotta eat it.
They got to eat it.
Be stuck with
The
that bill.
government told everybody it was going to be taken care of. So how do we go back and charge patients now? We can't. We can't. We can beg them, which is basically what we're about to do. I'm about to send them all letters and say, look, we provided you these services in good faith with the understanding everyone thought from the federal government that these things would be covered. But now the claims are being rejected for lack of funding. And if you go to their website, it says we are no longer accepting claims due to lack of funding. They ran out of money.
That's the government for you.
That's the government for you.
They didn't run out of money. Most of that money is gone overseas.
I don't know where it's going, but it ain't
It's
coming to
going to
urgent
other.
need mess.
It's coming to. It's going
It's
to
not going
other
to the
countries.
doctors who put out money and provided services for people in good faith.
It's
You
going
know?
everywhere but where it needs to go.
Exactly. And it always does, it seems like. But
Mhm.
anywho, so that's what I'm dealing with there. We got a lot of money sitting in patient balances because a lot of people got some really high deductibles. A lot of people got really high deductibles. So I've confirmed with Matt today, everybody that got treated for COVID that had a stupid deductible and now has $1,000 balance, we're going to offer them, we came up with a settlement amount, and I'm going to send out a letter and start calling them and say, hey, this is what we're doing because it was COVID. Because you have this ridiculously high deductible, we're going to offer you like a 50% settlement. So maybe we can just cover our supplies. You got your treatment.
Sounds good.
You know, but we really don't have any other option other than to eat it. Eat it. And that's a lot of money to eat.
I hope they learn the lesson. Don't listen to the government.
Girl. And I'm hoping y'all pray and keep your fingers crossed that monkeypox does not become a thing.
I was about to say.
From what I understand, it's not supposed to become a thing like COVID was a thing, but it's going to become a problem. It's becoming a problem already.
Why they blaming it on the gay people?
Because they stupid. Because they doing the same thing they did with AIDS.
Yeah, because there's something that's, I don't know why they blame it on a certain race, culture, or anything. It's not
It's
blamed on them. It's blaming on the government is putting it out there.
Girl,
I think we are being guinea pigs to see how things gonna work and how who's gonna manage it. But it's not. It's government-based things that is being seen how our body is tolerating it and who can handle it and who can't handle it.
You know, it always makes me curious. A doctor that I know used to work for like pandemic planning in Washington, D.C. and was telling me about the COVID vaccine, how the COVID vaccine was 90% complete before COVID ever broke out. Why y'all think that was?
because they was getting ready to break out with COVID.
It was already
Because
being
they knew it was
planned.
eventually going to become a thing.
Mhm.
Whether on
That's what I'm
purpose or
saying.
not, only God knows, and probably only God ever will know. But they knew eventually that it would get out some kind of way. And it
Because
did.
it's something that's planned.
And it did. And they weren't
Mhm.
completely ready. And a lot of people died. A lot of
Mhm.
people died. But thankfully, that vaccine was that close to being ready and was able to get rolled out when it did. But anywho, who knows, how any and all of that gets started. But I hope monkeypox doesn't become, is it going to become a problem? It's almost guaranteed to become a problem at this point. I hope it doesn't become a problem for my little urgent care that I work for. But I've already been informed that if we do treat people, if we start treating monkeypox there, I will be banned from there because it is deadly to children. It is deadly to the littles if they contract monkeypox. So in grown people, it is scarring, facial scarring, bodily scarring and lesions, and scar you for life. Scars that will never heal. It's bad. And in little kids, they are dying. It is killing them. So this is not something that, if you get an outbreak in your area, for the love of God, don't brush it off. Don't blow it off, y'all.
There's a few
I'm getting
yeah,
my
there's
information from the front lines.
there's a few posted on
Not out
Facebook.
there.
You be wondering if you want to believe it or not. But you know me, I started doing investigating work, so I'll be trying to see where some of them live. So there was one lady that was out of New Orleans, and she said, "I'm not trying to scare anybody," but she showed pictures of her child that had spots on it, and bumps and marks and scabs, and she said she found out the child had monkeypox. But she said, "I'm gonna let y'all know. I have brought my child to the fun jumps and the little play entertainment areas and stuff at least 8 times within this past 2 weeks." So she was like, "So y'all please be careful with y'all kids, because some people be around with the monkeypox and don't say anything and be steady bringing their kids to these play areas." Because I have a daughter that works in a store, and she said yesterday, she said, you don't want to like assume people have it, or
Right.
just because you don't want to judge people to see
Right.
But she said there was a lady that came into the store with no mask or anything, and she said, "Mom, you could see all over her face it was scabbing, and some parts looked like it was kind of oozing a little bit." And she said for her to be walking around with all this on her face, like is in the, they show different stages how it goes
Yeah.
through. And she said, "Now I've seen pictures, and she looked like she's in the middle staging of it getting big and scabbing over and sometime oozing." And she just in the store looking around at clothes and looking to try
Probably
on
touching her
shoes and stuff.
face and touching things.
And she said, "I'm looking at her." She said, "And I still wear my mask." And she said, "But this lady is in here with no mask, because everybody don't have to wear a mask."
No.
But I'm like, she said, "But if she knows she has it, Mom, why is she going around?" I said, "Because some of them have the attitude of thinking, if I have it, I'm going to give it to as many people as I want to give it to."
Oh, look, there have been news reports up here in Shreveport, people talking about having monkeypox parties. Are y'all freaking retarded? That was unprofessional, for real. But like how irresponsible.
That's how they say about the
And
COVID, when
stupid.
they was going to have
Stupid.
COVID
Yeah.
parties. They wanted to see who was going to get infected or who wasn't going to get infected, and they started having those COVID parties. So just imagine the monkeypox. They just,
Oh,
because I know there's a
stuff
good
is not
bit of
nothing to play
cases
with.
in New Orleans and in New Iberia now. There's a high case of people with the monkeypox.
So
I'm like,
y'all,
I told my
it's
husband, I
only a
said, "I'm
matter
not
of
shaking
time before it
nobody's
comes to an
hand.
area near you.
I'm not dabbing or nothing, no touching nobody, no
Mm-mm,
hugging,
mm-mm.
nothing. Because you
No,
don't know who has
no,
what. And
no.
that's why I say, my daughter said, "But Mom, she didn't buy anything in the store, but she was just looking around." I was like, "But it was the point that,
She was just there
you
to
could
be
see
there.
some little
That's all that
scabs like was
was.
leaking."
That
Yeah.
woman was
Like,
just there to be there and see.
She was in there
And my
like,
daughter is pregnant,
Been
so I'm
damaged.
like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So she was like, Mama, I just be feeling like I want to wear
Yo.
gloves now. Cause you never could tell who,
Yeah.
with the money, they be touching
Yes.
money.
The
Cause there was
first-
one lady in Georgia said
The
that
lady in Georgia got it by handling money.
money. That's what she
Yes.
feel. It was handling money. Cause she
Handling
works at a
money.
gas station.
Y'all, and when I tell y'all that is
It's
my
not an
biggest fear.
STD. It can't be linked to any one specific sexual
Yeah, they trying to bring
orientation.
it over as yeah, sexually
It's a
transmitted.
contact
No.
thing. It's not a
Yes.
sexually transmitted disease. It's a contact.
It's just like
Amen.
chickenpox.
Amen.
Chickenpox is contact. It's
Exactly.
not sexually transmitted. So that's
It's a pox.
monkeypox. Yes.
It's a pox, which is contact.
no.
Yeah, it
It
looks
looks
like
a lot like
chickenpox. Yeah.
It's a viral contact disease. It just like any other pox.
And trying to blame it on the gays. There's no.
People-
It's just like syphilis. They try to blame it on the gays for syphilis, but no, there was something that was given to the people the government gave to see how the body reacts to syphilis, and then all of a sudden they come with the antidote. So there's something that just being put out to see how the body is responding to it. Then all of a sudden you have an
Yeah,
antidote. for it.
syphilis just spread really well when people had sex. It wasn't originally an STD, but it sure got it around fast.
Yep, because that's a
You're running
government
around
given
fast.
thing, and then now all of a sudden you got a antidote for it. So now you notice any viral or any
Yeah.
sickness that comes out, they're gonna have either vaccination or something. So they're pushing the vaccination. They're not pushing the mess because of the virus. I think it's more pushing vaccinations out.
And there are more man-created viruses and diseases out there than there are that naturally occur.
Mm-hmm. And so now they're talking about there was this virus that started 2 days ago in China.
Oh, great.
So they can't really say what it is, but they looking into it. But it has affected over 58 people already.
Does
Well,
anybody
y'all,
know if any of
if
this
the
is
world
going on?
shuts down, we already online. If it shuts down again, we're already here.
It's
It
crazy.
needs to shut down.
All right, y'all, we gotta wrap it up because it is 5 o'clock and I gotta go get my
Yes.
youngin.
My phone about to die.
Love talking with you,
Alright.
y'all, as always. This is a long one, so it's gonna take a little bit for me to get it posted, okay?
That's fine.
All right.
Y'all have a
Thank
blessed
y'all.
weekend.
Y'all
And if
have a
y'all
good
need
day.
anything over,
Bye, you
holler at your girl.
So the exam is gonna be posted on Monday.
I'll open it up on Sunday, but yes, for
Sunday.
Monday.
All righty. Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Y'all have a good
Bye,
one.
y'all.